Hi everyone, Zach here, and welcome to the prep video for lesson 25 in this series on developing a survival game. Okay, I kind of just lied. This really isn't a prep video, it's just a challenge. I'm going to give you a challenge for things to think about because I'm going to be hinting at them starting in this video, and we'll see a problem down the road. Now, this problem is really easy to miss. In fact, in two versions of doing the recordings for this series, I missed it each time. I already knew about it. I remembered it this time I did this set, so I'm able to comment on it, but just be aware, this one is a bit tricky. Alright, this video and this series have been brought to you by my Patreon sponsors. So let's move on to the challenge. So, bit of a reminder before we get to the challenge itself. In section 2 of the series, we made our inventory system, and every time we hit our I button, and then we hit it again, or we hit the X at the top of the screen and close it, and then hit I again to reopen our inventory, the buttons, the slots, aren't the same ones we saw before. Even if the item in it is the same, it's actually a different slot. So when we first open it, it's 0 to 9, because we have 10 slots. The second time we open it, it's actually 10 to 19 we're seeing. Third time, it's 20 to 29. Fourth time, it's 30 to 39. And by the way, for those of you who don't get when you say I'm X decades old, you add an extra number. It's because 0 to 9 is decade 1, which is why I said 0 to 9 is 1, 2 is 10 to 19, and 3 is 20 to 29. All right, so they respawn, they get a new number, they get a new thing each time. It doesn't change the actual index of the item. The index remains the same. It changes the rendering, sort of, which button number is this? This is the 14th iteration of the first slot. So that would be that'd be button 150. So bear that in mind. In this section, we are making our equipment system. Now, the difference here is that every time we open and close our inventory, so when we hit I, we'll have our equipment stuff up there as well, the buttons are the same. So the button will be equipment 1 for the head, equipment 2 for the body, equipment 3 for the legs, and equipment 4 for the feet. Actually, it'll be 0, 1, 2, 3. And then the weapons will be 4, 5, 6. And it'll always be those numbers. Okay. This is the setup for the challenge. So why did I just spend 2 minutes, nearly 3 minutes, describing all of this? Well, that is because the challenge is, there's an issue in that. If we use the same system that we use for our inventory with our equipment, there will be a major issue. There's also a solution. Oddly enough, they kind of go hand in hand. And I don't mean that in the normal sense of, hey, you have a problem, there's a solution. What I mean is the particular problem is also its own solution. We'll come back to that in a minute, and there's a little bit of an extra hint for you. So, as I said, remember when we open and close the inventory, it refreshes or updates our inventory. Remember that when we did in section 2, our inventory and items weren't showing up when we split them, we had to open and close them. We had to find a way to force the inventory to update without respawning the buttons. Actually, I technically think we do respawn the buttons. So, that's going to give you a hint towards the issue and the solution. Once you work out what the issue is, think about how we forced the update, like I just said above, how we might use that with our equipment system. Also think about what we'll have to change in our equipment slot. Alright, that said, this series has been brought to you by Patreon sponsors like Rian, Quadmenson, Hanas, and 1Volt10. If you've enjoyed this series, make sure to hit that like button down below. And if you want to be here when the next tutorial is released, make sure to hit the subscribe and notify bell so you know when that tutorial is out. Both those things really do help the channel out. It also helps the community out. Speaking of communities, think about joining our Discord community, link in the description below. Alright, all of that said, I look forward to seeing you in the tutorial proper, and hope that you have a wonderful day.